once again, sorry about that, ran out of memory. This is part two. So anyway, after I do all that intermediary phase work at the end to make sure that for absolute certain that the dog knows what I want, I just stopped while she was running around on the farm like a wild woman, did nothing. And I hit the stim at 13. E-collar's not on, by the way, right now. And I just stand there with it on continuous. She turns around, starts coming towards me, so I immediately release, and then she runs towards me, and then I mark reward, then I give her the break command. Why this is so important is because this is how you know that the dog, in the dog's mind, knows, I know what this means. Because part of teaching dogs, so basically when it comes to how balanced training people view dog training, it's first you teach the dog what you want. Here's what I want you to do. And you do it in a variety of contexts. And then after the dog knows what you want, then you make the dog do it. Okay? And this is where balanced dog trainers and force-free dog trainers differ. Both balanced dog trainers, so-called balanced dog trainers and force-free dog trainers, believe in teaching the dog what you want through positive reinforcement. And that includes, if the balanced trainer is actually a good balanced trainer, the conditioning of aversives using positive reinforcement, even though force-free dog trainers don't use aversives. But once the dog knows and generalizes and understands what you want, the balanced dog trainer will force the dog to do it. And it's always made the most logical sense to me, because if I call my dog, okay, and there's a deer or squirrel or whatever, if I have a dog with extremely high prey drive, will having a good relationship, of course, help with the dog choosing to back off the deer/squirrel and come towards me? Of course, it will increase my chances. But realistically, am I going to be reliably able to call my dog off a deer/squirrel, or worse, a porcupine, or a bear? Am I realistically going to be able to do that with reliability and knowing that I can keep my dog safe? Probably not. So this is where, I strongly disagree with force-free people. Relationship can, of course, help with reliability and obedience, but you do need to, after the dog knows what you want, you do have to make them do it. And it's not because I'm some, monster who wants control of an animal because I'm just evil and nefarious. It's because, I can give you an example. My aunt and uncle, their golden retriever got ran over by a car. Bad way to go. Crushed by the car. And my black lab Magnum, we had to take him to the vet, and they had to go down his throat with a I don't know if it's correct to call it a stethoscope or whatever, and remove the porcupine quills from his throat. So if you have a dog that blows you off with a recall, especially when you're out in the middle of nowhere, not only is it not good that the dog's blowing off your recall, because it, reinforces the dog not being obedient, it's also fucking dangerous. If we come across a porcupine and she goes after it, that's, with inflation, thousands of dollars in vet bills. So anyway, now the dog knows what I want. we move into something called the maintenance/correction phase. This is the last stage. So this is when you move into the higher levels with the shock collar. Okay. So you call the dog when they're doing something dangerous, and if the dog comes, all good. But if not, you have a backup plan. And yeah, so what this means is my dog gets to run around like a wild woman on a farm, and I don't need to worry about her disappearing for 5 minutes at a time, going after deer, going after porcupines, going after bears. Now I can give my dog the time that she needs to run around like a crazy person or crazy dog, while still keeping my dog safe. And it just seems so weird to me that many people, because of their own personal feelings, would sentence my dog to living life on a 6-foot tether for her entire life, never able to enjoy being off leash, never able to run around and be a dog, all because they're not willing to use obligation in their training. And this is where, like, I'm not saying all people on the force-free side, but some of them, it's like they're so committed to their ideology that it supersedes the welfare of the animal. And that, to me, I find particularly distasteful. And of course, some people who side with the force-free side of things, who are against shock collars, e-collars, will in the comments, well, this or that study said such and such. About e-collars, they say that positive reinforcement is effective. If these studies were actually true, why is it that people who train force-free, positive only, why is it that they're not competing on the world stage? Okay? Why is it that their dogs aren't absolutely killing it when they do IGP? So IGP, for those that don't know, is a dog sport that involves protection, so dogs biting shit and releasing shit on command, tracking, so doing shit with their nose, and then obedience. Why is it that whenever there's world championships or tournaments or competitions, that people who train force-free never consistently win? And if you actually dig deep into these studies, so like one of the studies that found that the e-collar was harmful, they only did it for 5 days. 5 days is way too early to determine the efficacy / harmful or harmful effects of a training methodology. And there's just a lot of outright lies that's told about balanced training and people who use tools from that side of things. Like, it's either misinformation that they're parroting or outright lies. The claim that it's used to teach behavior is for the most part bullshit. And they claim that it's fear-based or punishment-based is wrong. Now, of course, fear is a component of it. Like, I'm not going to skirt around that. Yeah, my dog knows. If I don't come, uncomfortable thing happens. That sucks, so I'm going to come. But that's not all it is. I spent 2 fucking months conditioning this dog with positive reinforcement, combining the negative reinforcement with the positive reinforcement, so my dog would understand what they did. I was very responsible. and very careful with it. And now, because of the work that I've done, I can safely let my dog off leash without shitting my pants every time she blows me off or disappears. That to me is a pretty big win. I will be attending a seminar in Toronto with my dog in order to meet my trainer in person, because it's online, because he lives in Kentucky. And he's going to really help me with a lot of her training, with a lot of her behavior. And you can look him up on YouTube, Larry Crone. And the thing is, when the positive only / force free people go after people who use tools, they're not using his videos. They're just not. If you see, like, his dogs, like a monkey could see it. You don't need a degree in animal behavior to see that his dogs love being around him. He's trained his dogs to a high degree of functional reliability, and he's even training one of his dogs to do IGP, which is awesome. I don't see how anyone could watch my trainer's channel and think that what he's doing is harmful to the animal, but I'll let you guys decide. Anyway, that's my video. Thank you for watching.